In today's video, what changes do you need to make to keep fat loss moving?
All by myself.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Coach Paul Ravella here, coming to you live on Tuesday morning. Check out my TMJ Australia version. Yeah, I just pulled this out of my suitcase. So for those that aren't aware, I was in Australia for 9 days and we did a tour with Massive Joe's, Doug Miller, and myself. Massive Joe's being the core distributor in Australia, and it's owned by Joe Menzel, who is himself a fantastic bodybuilder, a fantastic competitor, and just an all-around badass. So if you're not following the Massive Joe's guys and you're in Australia, well, what are you doing with your lives? But we're already discussing next year's tour, so we might be kicking it up a notch. So yeah, get in the loop. So today's video, I gotta give you guys like a thumbs up, man. You have been killing it with the questions. So what I started doing with these YouTube videos was taking questions from my Instagram direct message. My Instagram is @PaulRavella, and I thought, you know, I'll probably get a good question here or there, but man, every time I go in there and look at questions, they're such good, educated questions. I still get the typical, hey, I can't lose weight, what should I do? Like, that's literally the question. You know, that kind of vague topic is very hard for me to discuss. Like, what should you do? I don't know, track your diet, go to the gym, lose, you know, do cardio. Those kind of vague questions are typically what I was expecting. But I've been getting some questions that are very high level, questions that I get from my clients, questions that I get from people that are interested in doing what I do or how I do it. And so it's very exciting for me to answer these kind of questions because I feel like they really get to the heart of a topic. And this is no different. This one was a great question, and it's one of those questions that I deal with every single day. But I've done it so many times in my head, millions of times, that I feel like it's common knowledge, but it's not common knowledge if you're not a coach or if you're not going through these things, or if you're just curious about the sport. And so I want to talk about how I adjust macros and cardio when weight loss stalls, right? It's like a magic question. Everyone says, well, to lose body fat, you've got to lose 500 calories a day, which is 3,500 a week, and that equals 1 pound. But in reality, no, that doesn't work. You can't just make a 500 calorie deficit. The body is so dynamic. If you create a huge deficit in calories every time that it's time to make a cut, you're gonna end up eating no calories and doing cardio 24 hours a day. The math doesn't add up. But there are some things that happen in the body that allow us to get leaner without making these huge changes. So the first thing I want to address is, how do we lose body fat? Well, we lose it by creating a caloric deficit. However, our bodies are very dynamic in how they handle things. It's not just a math equation of, okay, I did the cardio machine, which says I burned 300 calories. I have a basal metabolic rate of 2,000 calories, so that means I am at 2,300 calories burned per day. Now, if I just take in 1,800 calories a day, I will lose weight. That's not exactly how it works, guys. There's so much other stuff going on. You got to account for things like sleep, recovery, hormones, your non-exercise activity, all the things that go on in our lives, stress, the changes that happen to our body. Our metabolisms are dynamic. Metabolism meaning all of the energy processes that go on when we eat food. Well, that's dynamic. It's not the same at the beginning of a diet as it is at the same. So I'm going to give you some general rules, how I adjust calories, how I adjust cardio, because I feel like it's information that is going to be beneficial. So a long time ago, my friend, coach, Lane Norton, said to me, there seems to be a threshold, okay? Meaning, let's say we are on 2,000 calories and we're doing, I don't know, 120 minutes of cardio a week, right? So that would be 4 30-minute sessions. So let's say we're doing 4 30-minute sessions and we're taking in 2,000 calories a day, right? It seems to be there is a threshold. So we've stalled. Let's say we've been losing weight and now we're stalled at this level. What would we do to keep weight loss going? Well, if you listen to, you know, conventional wisdom, we would have to create another 500 calorie deficit, meaning we would have to bump cardio way up or bring the calories down to 1,500 and keep cardio the same. But obviously you see where this is going. 2 more changes and you're at 0 calories. So that's not what we do. Typically, here's what I do. We can reduce calories by about 10 to 15% and increase cardio by just a bit, okay? Just increase cardio by 5 to 10%. These type of thresholds will get weight loss going again for another 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, depending on how adaptive we are, depending on how much body fat we have, okay? Obviously, the more body fat we have, I find the longer that we can stick with the same macros and cardio and see success. The leaner we get, the quicker the metabolism, the body adapts. The less body fat we have, the longer we kind of need to see those changes happen. And so this is where, when I talk about contest prep being a long process, that's why, because we don't want to rush the process. We want to give it as much time as possible. We tend to do weekly check-ins. That's what I do. I do weekly check-ins at the beginning of prep. I might do bi-weekly check-ins later in prep, depending on how much weight we have to lose and how aggressive we need to be towards the end. So if we make a change on Friday, I might not want to wait until the next Friday to talk to my athlete. I might want to find out every 2 or 3 days. There are some compounding variables when it comes to this, but this threshold that I'm talking about, let's say this person's on 2,000 calories, I might bring them down to 1,800 calories, maybe 1,850. And then now that they're doing 30 minutes of cardio 4 days a week, well, I might say to you, hey friend, hey client, you're doing 4 days of cardio at 30 minutes. How's your schedule? Would you prefer another day or would you prefer longer sessions? Well, if they would prefer longer sessions, I might bump each of those sessions up to 35 minutes. Doesn't sound like a lot, 5 more minutes per session, but you added 20 minutes per week. Also, that 5 minutes per session, that's at the end of an already session that you're doing. I find this is where you're gonna get into some caloric expenditure that you weren't seeing before because you were adapted, just like the calories. Now, if this person says to me, Paul, I cannot handle any more time on my schedule. I am going to the gym. I am doing cardio. I'm keeping up with my kids. Well, this is where we use calories, okay? We can create a bigger deficit through calories, say come down to 1,700, 1,750. Why? Because cutting calories takes no time out of your day. It requires no time to eat less. It might suck a little bit. So what I like to do is find out from the individual, what would you prefer? A little more time in the gym or a little more time on the plate? Whatever it is, we'll find the right balance. At a certain point, if you're going to be a champion, it's going to suck all the way around. It's going to suck for cardio, it's going to suck for training, it's going to suck for diet at a certain point if you want to be a champion. But I find that the people that want to be champions, when I make those changes and I say, listen, it's going to be a tough week for you, man. We got to do this. We got to bump up to an hour of cardio, an hour, 10 minutes of cardio. We got to do this. They're like, fucking bring it, because that's what they want. They want that grind. And that's the way I feel in prep. I remember like emailing Lane and being like, hey man, can we push things a bit this week? Sometimes he would have to pull me back, and I respect that. That's what the coach's job is to do. That's what my job is to do. But people that want to get to that crazy place, well, they're going to go through some places that most people wouldn't. But for the average gym goer who's just kind of stuck in their weight loss plateau and you need to make a change, well, look at bringing calories down by 100 to 200 per day, right? And then look at bumping up your cardio, or in a situation where you're doing 4 days at 30 minutes, okay, so that's 120 minutes. Well, maybe we look at doing 5 days a week, right? Maybe we look at doing 5 days a week and just bumping up another session, okay? So that's something that we can do. It all comes down to the individual. What do you have available to you? What are your time? Look at everything you're doing as an opportunity. Look where you can fit in some extra walking. Take some extra walks throughout the day. Take the stairs, the old adage, take the stairs, not the elevator. But little things like that add up. And I have found that when I was traveling, when I'm doing expos, I'm able to burn so many more calories that I'm just able to eat a little bit more or even lose weight while eating a little bit more food. So it's got me thinking maybe I should be doing more activity at home during a fat loss phase. As a matter of fact, I got something right here. So one of my clients is moving and she reached out to me. That's right, I'm breaking the fourth wall, folks. We're going over here, look at that. So Coach Paul has a treadmill at home now. So yeah, I'm getting back on the diet game. Next couple days here, I gave myself the mental break. I lost 10 pounds in January and February, and March, I just gave myself the break with the 2 Arnolds, the bachelor party, gone every weekend. My son's birthday is this weekend, so I gave myself a mental break, but I'm gonna get back on the diet game. I'm gonna get down another 10 pounds in the next couple months before my new baby boy comes, and it's gonna be nice to have that at home, just walk out here. So that was an opportunity. I thought, you know, I tend to like drive to the gym just for cardio. Well, what if I could just walk into my office and do cardio? How great would that be? Bam. I had a thought, I made it happen. All right, guys, hopefully this helps. If you have specific questions, like if you want to put your nutrition below, do that. The fact that you made it this far into the video tells me that you are a true subscriber. So I want you to put down below, hey coach, I've been stuck at these cardio sessions, this calorie level for a while, and I will give you some feedback on what I think you should make the adjustment to be. Again, without you being my client and having your whole history and us having had a phone call and all the things that go into like my coaching decisions, they might not be perfect decisions, but I can give you some insights on what I would do to make adjustments. As always, guys, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you.
All by myself.